Good evening. I'm Vin Cipolla, President of the Municipal Art Society, and I'm pleased to welcome you to the 9th Annual MasterWorks Awards Ceremony. Thank you so much for being here. This year we're presenting the awards in conjunction with the MAS Summit for New York City. The summit, which was held in this very space earlier today and which was fantastic, and will continue to tomorrow, which will be amazing, is MAS's first ever conference on livability. We've convened more than 400 civic-minded New Yorkers, actually 560 people have registered for this summit, and leaders in the fields of planning, design, housing, economics, and development to discuss urban livability and examine the challenges faced in New York City from sidewalk to skyline. I am pleased to see many of you from today's summit in the room, thank you, and I hope to see many of you tomorrow. As you may know, the Municipal Art Society has a long history for advocating for New York City in matters of design, urban planning, historic preservation, and public space. When MAS was founded in 1893, one of our most ardent promoters, Evangeline Blashfield, had the following motto: to make us love our city, we must make our city lovely. Early MAS members were inspired by the wonderful public spaces, creative urban design practices, and grand works of architecture of other cities, and believed that New York could and should be even more beautiful in order to make the city as livable as possible. Launched in 2001, the MasterWorks Awards honor those projects that not only make our city a more beautiful place to live, but also a more livable place through innovation, creative architecture, and urban design. At MAS, we are deeply passionate about great design and its transformative impact on neighborhoods and cities. I'd like to thank Christian Ritter, who is here tonight, and Halvar for generously supporting these awards for the 5th year in a row. Halvar is a German bank whose logo and name you've probably seen around town on a variety of commercial and large-scale residential real estate projects. Halvar is one of the most strategic and intelligent financial partners in New York real estate today, and we're so honored to have them sponsor MasterWorks. Tonight, we are here to celebrate an extraordinary group of awardees and to recognize the visionary and inspired contributions that the literally hundreds of individuals involved in each design project have made to enhance the way we live, the way we work, and the way we experience our great city. And now I'll hand it over to the very fabulous David Giles, the host of tonight's festivities. David is not only one of the world's great architects, but he is also an unflagging friend to MAS. He joined the board in 1986 and has been the chairman of the board since 2009. As chairman emeritus of SOM, David's imprint is all over the world and our city as well. From the Time Warner Center at Columbus Circle, which received a MasterWorks Award in 2004, to the yet-to-be-completed One World Trade Center and its designs for Moynihan Station, David's impact on New York is undeniable. Among his numerous civic involvements, David has served on the boards of the American Academy in Rome, the Museum of Modern Art, the National Building Museum. He has received presidential appointments as chairman of the National Capital Planning Commission and as chairman of the Commission of Fine Arts. And he is also a fellow of the American Institute of Architects. I'm proud to present a friend to our city, a friend to MAS, and my friend, David Giles.
That was fun. Vin and I get along extremely well, but one of our rules is he's not allowed to say anything about my resume. So you went on and on. I couldn't do anything about that, Vin, but thank you so much. It's impossible to follow Vin for two reasons. One, that he says everything so beautifully, and second of all, he says it all. So here I am. But I would only reiterate one thing, which is that we have a wonderful friend and our sponsor, the hell of a bank tonight. Again, been a great long friend and asset to the kinds of things that we care about enormously. And Christian Ritter is going to be here tonight, is here, and I'd like to ask him to come up and say a few words to all of you. Christian, are you here? I'm here. Good. Please, step forward.
Thank you, David. Good evening, everyone. As a New Yorker who has lived in the city for over 25 years, I lived only about 2 blocks from this fabulous project here, the High Line. And therefore, I have a deep personal appreciation for what good projects can do and what this is all about, all these projects that are being honored here tonight. I think that this is one of the most fabulous assets in terms of enhancing the quality of life that I experienced personally in this neighborhood for a long time. Halvar is very proud to continue its support for the Municipal Art Society, and it's now the 5th year in a row that we are participating with the MasterWorks Awards. To all of this year's winners, all the best. Congratulations to a job very well done.
Isn't he the best? I tell you, bankers haven't gotten the best reputation in the last couple of years. If everybody had been like you, Christian, we'd be in better shape today, I must say. So again, thank you for your continuing support and belief in the things we do, believe in, the contribution that good design brings to the livability of our cities. This year, we had a great jury, and I'd like to introduce Alan Suna, an old dear friend, and in fact somebody before he got truth and light into his life, he worked for me in my architectural firm. Alan Suna. Alan, would you step forward? And there you are.
Good evening, everyone. I won't speak that long, but since I'm given a podium and a microphone, I'm going to take the opportunity to thank David for inviting me to be part of the jury. I know David for 38 years. We figured it out before. That's actually before I became an architect. I actually was interested in becoming an architect, and I worked for David's National Capital Planning Commission in Washington, D.C. as an intern, just to see what that world was about. And I think David was about 16 years old when he was doing that. So, and then some years later, that led to my reaching out to him to see if he wanted to hire me as an architect after I graduated from Cornell. And he made the mistake of hiring me, but you know, that's just the way it goes. So thank you, David. The Municipal Art Society each year seeks out talented design professionals and a developer, in this case that's me, to serve on a jury for their MasterWorks Awards. You know, as a developer, I will tell you I enjoyed very much the process this year and the exchange between all of the jurists. And the people that were part of that jury this year were Bishan Chakrabarti, who has had an incredible career, but maybe he'll tell you about that later. Thomas Waltz, who is a landscape designer, landscape architect, fabulous guy. Paola Antonelli from the Museum of Modern Art. She's the senior curator of architecture and design there. Toshiko Mori, who teaches up at Harvard. And then there was me. And we had a lot of discussion about, you know, who to award, give these awards to, because there were many, many good projects. You know, as it turned out, the projects that you will see have tended to be towards institutional projects, because that's frankly where most of the entries were coming from this year. But there are some really fabulous works of architecture and landscape design that are being recognized this evening. There was one area that was particularly challenging for the jury, and that was the neighborhood catalyst category. Guess what? We couldn't get agreement among the jury. So that award is being shared by a number of really great projects. So we hope that you will agree with us that this year's MasterWorks awards are fabulous, and I thank you for enabling me to be a part of it this year. Thank you.
And Alan will be up here again to give one of the awards a little bit later. I will introduce each one of the jury members who will have a role in giving out these awards. And first of all is Thomas Woltz, principal in the landscape architecture firm of Nelson Bird Woltz. And he will tell you about the Best Restoration Award. Thomas?
First of all, I want to thank the Municipal Arts Society for thinking broadly enough to have a landscape architect on the jury. It was very exciting, and I appreciated it very much. They might have cheated a little bit. I was trained as an architect in both undergraduate and graduate school, but my practice is definitely centered on landscape architecture. The award for Best Restoration is a structure that we all know and love. It is beneath the Juilliard School at 1941 Broadway. The opaque base of the Eduardo Catalano and the Pietro Berluschi building was stripped away by Diller, Scofidio, and Renfro in collaboration with FX Fowle to reveal the renovated Alice Tully Hall to the street. This act introduced new public spaces, both interior and exterior, to Broadway. Would Ron Austin of Lincoln Center, Liz Diller, Rick Scofidio, and Sylvia Smith of FX Fowle please come to the stage?
How are you? Thank you. I think we all want to say a couple of words. It's a huge project, part of a much larger project. Great architectural collaborator in FX Fowle, a fantastic client in Lincoln Center, great city administration. I have to say that projects that we've done the last couple of years could not have happened in another administration. One thing that is really important and something I learned during this project is that that you can take historic assets and you can find very sensitive ways to treat them and to preserve them and to reinvent them for future use, and without putting them in formaldehyde, but by really using a lot of creative energy and sensitivity. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Liz. 50 years ago, a group of visionaries came forward with a very creative experiment to try building the world's largest cultural facility as an urban renewal project. And as part of that, they hired at the time 6 of the world's leading architects. Liz is often fond of saying it took 50 years, $1 billion, and a woman's touch to correct the damage that they did. So we thank her for her time and her talent sharing it with you. We thank you, MAS, for the award, and we thank everyone for appreciating our hard work.
The second award goes to the, for Best Historic Restoration, goes to the Empire State Building lobby restoration. The lobby of the Empire State Building at 350 Fifth Avenue is one of the few New York City interiors designated as an historic landmark. Guided by Beyer Blinder Bell architects and planners, the restoration brings greater visibility, consistency, and historical accuracy to important public corridors and street facades within the city. Accepting the award are father and son team Tony Malkin and Peter Malkin of Malkin Holdings, and Richard Metzke of Beyer Blinder Bell.
Hi, I'm Richard Metzke. Working for the Malkins is total joy. The fact that we were able to take a building that was built in 13 months and spend 2 years redoing the lobby was a treat. The fact that Tony Malkin came to me when we showed him a portion of the lobby, and I said, "What is that up there?" And he said, "Well, it's gold leaf and silver." And I said, "Well, is that the way they made it originally?" And he said, "Well, no, it was originally aluminum with a varnish and gold leaf." And I said, "Well, then redo it and do it in the aluminum." That was really cool too. In all seriousness, you know, the Empire State Building, this project got started on the basis of, number one, the fact that my dad, my grandfather, and Harry Helmsley bought the building in 1961 when I was not yet born. And number two, the fact that we had a period of time during which the asset really was not managed, taken care of the way it should be. And we went through a lengthy process to get control over the operation of the building. And I sat and I looked with my dad back in the summer of 2006 when it was clear that it was coming our way and we were going to get control of it. I said, you know,